Good afternoon, ladies and gents. It's Harry calling from Fusion Holidays. Hope you are well. It's that time again, I'm afraid, where we do need to collect your passenger information for the forthcoming river cruise with Ceroc, which is sneaking up on us and will be with us very, very shortly. So I've tried to keep the process as pain-free and as simple for everyone to do an action. So what will be happening? You will have either just received an email or you're about to receive an email from myself, from the system, requesting for you to complete this form. So I thought it would be helpful for me just to put together a quick little video of me whizzing through the form to show you how simple and easy it is for you to work and explain a couple of points that go with it as well. Okay, please don't be alarmed at this section here which says not secure. The reason this particular one that I'm using is not secure is because it's my test platform. I would like to reassure you that the platform that will be issued to you all is hosted on a secure server. Okay, so please do not panic or worry. All your details are safe and we are GDPR compliant and we've got every possible certificate that we need to make sure of it. Okay, so when you receive the link, all you need to do is click on the link. It will bring you up on this information page here. To access the booking, what you require is the surname and date of birth of the lead passenger of the booking. So what we mean by lead passenger is if you're booked as a husband and wife and the husband booked it, it will be his surname, his date of birth. If you're two friends traveling and one of you booked it, it will be your friend's surname and date of birth. If you are a solo passenger, it will of course be your name and date of birth. Or if you have received separate documentation from us, you're sharing with a friend but we've issued you with separate documentation, then it will be your surname and date of birth. So for argument, we're going to use the surname of Murphy for this one. And their date of birth is the 20th of June 1961. Okay, so you input those details as mentioned. So simply type in the surname, click on the calendar like so, and you can then select the months, the years, and then respectfully the date of the birthday. You then click the green button for proceed. It will then take you into this screen. Okay, so this is the overall screen for this particular booking. So for this particular booking, there's only one passenger associated. Okay, so what we would like you to do is to ensure that we've got the correct details. So firstly, you can see we have a name, we have an address. Okay, we have no passport information held at the moment, and we've obviously got the customer's date of birth. On the same screen, we've got the phone number that we hold in our system, along with the mobile and the email address in which we've been using to communicate. I'll come back to these sections in a second. Now, you'll see on this particular one that their method of travel from the UK to France is air. And in this particular booking, we've pre-populated this with some information. It's pre-populated with information because the flights have been booked by ourselves. If you log in and you see that there is no flight information here, that's because you have taken charge of your flight arrangements, and I will come back to that in a second. Okay, we've then also just double checking the bed configuration as well for the cabin, as well as any preferences that you may wish. So we've asked for a couple of requests for freestyles and also maybe your top 3 favourite tracks that we can feed back to your Ceroc DJ, just as a nice little touch to see if we can do and make it as enjoyable as possible. Okay, so first thing we need to do on this particular one is we do need to have a look at this information here, and we definitely need to input some passport information. Now in this particular section as well, we will be asking a few more other questions. So to change and to view it, we simply press this button here. This then takes us into more information. Okay, so simply we've just double checking the name, the address and the postcode again, and this is the main contact number that we hold, which you can amend on the screen previous. Now we do request that you, in fact we need you to pop in these details because it's important that we have all our paperwork in order for the French Customs Authority and also for the cruise line and also for our insurance purposes as well. So for all guests travelling, I would probably say 99% of you are going to be using your passport. So you simply select passport from the document type, input your passport number. Okay, on this occasion I'm just making all of this up. The surname as it appears on your passport. So for this one is Murphy. Given names, we've got Phyllis. And then for the sake of argument, any middle names as well. So we're going to put James. Okay. The nationality of the passport. So this particular one is a British citizen. The date of birth copies through from the front screen. And we know that this passenger is male. If this is incorrect on your side of things, please change it just by clicking on it and selecting. The place of birth for this particular example is London, which is also noted on your passport. And the issuing authority. The three most common issuing authorities for passports in the UK is either UKPA, IPS or HMPO. If you do not see either of these on your passport, please select other, and then you will be able to overtype that information in here. On this example, we're going to go UKPA. Our date of issue. Okay, so with this, it is a simple calendar function. So for this particular example, our passport was issued in 2018, in June, and it was the 1st of June 2018. Our expiry date on this one is going to be the 1st of June 2028. And then lastly, just in case anything happens to us whilst we're on board, or if one of our passengers becomes ill and we need to inform someone, we would really appreciate if you could provide us with an emergency contact and an emergency contact number. Okay, so that's quite simple, quite straightforward. Then we just would like to know a little bit more about you, our passenger. So this will be the case for each passenger. Okay, so what we want to know in this example is for Mr. Murray is his dancing ability, is he a beginner, is he an intermediate plus, or is he advanced? So in this case, I'm going to pop beginner. The reason why I'm asking this information is I just want to make sure that we've got all of our class function and schedules suited to all of our guests on board. And if we do need to make any tweaks because we have more of one ability, then of course we're going to do it. Very important, we need to know if there is any medical requests. What we mean by medical requests is not do you take tablets, it's more things like do we need to provide you with a sharp box? Do we need to keep your insulin in a fridge? Do we need to provide you any aids in terms of shower stools, things like that? So in this particular example, I'm going to select no. However, if you do have any medical requests, if you click on yes, it will open a little text box. Please elaborate as much as you can, because that will then help me make sure that we've covered off everything that we need to do. The next question, very, very similar, is to do with dietary requests. Now, this is very, very important. Okay, yes, you may have provided us or told us that you have had dietary requirements. However, this is the point that we need you to double and triple check we have this information. Okay, so if you've got a fish problem, if you can't, say, eat a particular meat, if you are vegetarian, if you are pescatarian, if you have a gluten intolerance or a dairy intolerance, it's very, very important that you tell us on this screen, regardless if you think you've spoken to me in the past or told me or emailed me or anything like that. I need to know again, please. So in this example, we could select yes, and for this sake, we could say gluten intolerant and dairy free. Okay, this just allows me to collate this information so that I can then feed this back to the river ship to ensure that you are being catered for to the best of everyone's abilities. Okay, and also very, very important is travel insurance is essential for this trip, and everyone must have an insurance policy, and importantly must have it covering you for not only COVID but for cruise cover as well, because you are on a ship. Okay, so in this example, I'm going to say Aviva is my insurance company. My policy number is this. And the important number that we need here is if there was a medical emergency and we needed to speak to your insurance company to ensure you're covered, that's the one that we need. It will be detailed on your policy documents as so. Once you have filled out all of that information, please click save. Okay. Little message will pop up just to tell you that the details have been saved. If you just click on this box here, that gets rid of that message. And then what you then need to do is go back up to here to the grey button and go back to booking. Now, what you will see in a second is certain pieces of information will have updated on the home screen for you. Okay, it may just take a little bit of time whilst it saves all this bits and bobs into our database. Now, you can see instantly that the screen has changed, but this is great because that means it brings it to my attention. If, for example, you notice in this section that we've got a slight error in your phone number or mobile number, or importantly, email address, please update them accordingly just by deleting and re-entering. And then once you're finished, click the purple button which says update contacts. You'll see the same again. Okay, it just helps us make sure that we've got everything to hand should we need to get hold of you. I've mentioned obviously the air section a little bit loosely earlier. Okay, so going back into this, there is going to be pretty much three main methods of travel for our guests to France. The majority of guests have booked flights, some have booked rail tickets, some have booked car parking because they're going to drive, and I can't really think of another, but I'm sure there may well be one or two occasions where we need to use this. Now, I mentioned earlier that if you haven't got your flights with Fusion Holidays or with myself, possibly because we've sold out of our allocation, or admittedly because you were able to get a slightly cheaper cost directly with the airline, so you've gone ahead and booked. The reason why I'm asking for your flight information is two things. To ensure that I know where you are when you are, so that if we have any passengers that are late to the ship, I can have a look and see when they were due to get into the airport, if there's a problem with that flight, and take the necessary steps to deal with it. Importantly, it's also so that I can collate as much information as possible to see if it's viable for us to liaise with our French coach company and offer shuttle transfers at cost price. So there has been many questions over the transfer side of things, and it's extremely difficult to pinpoint them down with so many different flights. So by collating this information, it's going to help me to do that. So I'd really appreciate if you could put as much accurate information in there for me. Okay. So in this example, I'm going to show you what you would do if you needed to do it. So you could select air. Then if you go into change or view flights, it will come up with a load of options. So what we need to know is if your flight is direct or non-direct. What we mean by non-direct is, for example, are you flying from Edinburgh to London, then London to Bordeaux? That's a non-direct option. A direct option is if you're flying straight from London over to Bordeaux. Okay. We then need to know for each leg of your journey the airline, the date in which your flight is, and where it's from, your flight numbers, departure times, and where you're flying to. Okay, so on this occasion, we have listed many of the UK airports which the Bordeaux flights are available from, and then we've just simply put Bordeaux as the airport. Okay, if you need to change that, then please select other. That will then throw a question mark for me, and I will then contact you all individually to have a chat about that. Okay. Pretty self-explanatory. It's all just drop boxes, simple clicks on the calendar for the dates. Okay, so it's all very straightforward. Once you've filled in all of that information, and this is for obviously everyone that's detailed on your booking, simply click save. You'll then see that that information is in there and stored. Back up to the grey button to go back to the main screen. And as previously, it will be showing in here. Okay. Now, bedding configuration, we have already asked this question, but yet again, to make sure that we've allocated the correct cabin type for the bed configuration, if you could kindly tell us if you would like a double bed or a twin bed, which is 2 single beds. Then just the preferences, just for us to see what we can get up to on board. You know, do you have any particular request for freestyle? I.e., do you want blues? Do you want a country hour? Do you want a 70s example? For 3 tracks, you know, do you like I don't know, Billie Jean? Do you like steps 5, 6, 7, 8 for your country hour? Examples as such. Once you've done that, if you then click the save button, that will then store it on your file, and I'll be able to see that to pass that information on accordingly. Okay. And that is quite simply it, ladies and gents. That is what we're after. That's what I would really appreciate you helping me do, because it will just make things go a lot more smoother when we come to ticketing, which I'm planning to start very soon. And also it makes things nice and simple for us on board if we have all the correct information to hand as well. Okay, once you've simply finished filling in all of the details for everyone, you can simply just log out using the red button, and that will then close the account nice and safely, and then we will be updated of any changes that you have made. If at any point you get lost or stuck throughout inputting your information, this video is going to get uploaded, okay, and simply this blue button here will bring it up for you to review and have a look at what I'm doing. If that still doesn't help, then please do give us a call. So the office number is 01903 694 322. My direct line is 01903 389 063. And between us, I'm sure we'll get this done nice and quickly for you. But I'd really appreciate if you could have a good go at first. But please, there is no hesitation whatsoever. I'm here to help. So I hope this little video was helpful to you to help explain what we're trying to do, how we would like you to do it, and I look forward to meeting and seeing everyone shortly. Thanks very much, take care and have a good day.